Hello friends and foes, I am Lee of the Reverie, and welcome to my comic review and analysis series. Today we'll be looking at Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 5, The Last Amazon, Part 5. The text has been edited to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by DC Comics. Go out and support your local comic book shops. Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 5 was written by Kelly Thompson with art by Hayden Sherman. In the flashback, Diana has a discussion with Hecate about leaving the Wild Isle. In the present day, Diana uses the lasso of transformation to transform herself into Medusa to defeat the monster. After defeating the monster, Steve is able to help her return to her true self. It's nice to see the military actually be cooperative and helpful right off the bat. I get that in a lot of stories, the military makes easy secondary antagonists when not outright villains, but unless there is a specific reason for the story, it always kind of bothered me, especially when it's glaringly obvious that the protagonist isn't the enemy, and the only reason the military continues to go after them is for plot conveniences. So the flashbacks are coming to an end in this issue, and the timelines are starting to meet up. The last thing we see is a conversation between Hecate and Diana right before Diana leaves for Man's World. The discussion between Hecate and Diana about the importance of transformation is very central to the themes of this first arc. Diana is about to undergo a huge transformation in her life, leaving her home and her mother for this new chapter. It's a transformation and a transformative stage that almost everybody goes through at one point or another. Leaving home not only transforms yourself, but it's going to transform your relationship with your parents. Hecate exemplifies this when she says, "That lasso is your mother. She made it with love and pain and fire and blood. It is the lasso of transformation because transformation is what she knows is best for you, and she deems only the best." Every good parent will recognize a time in their child's life when they need to let them go so they can transform and grow into the person they need to be. It's a hard thing, but it is what's best for your child. It is important that they are able to transform so that they can grow. Here, Diana draws parallels between herself and Medusa, someone who is punished for another's actions and uses that punishment/transformation as their strength. Of course, there are several interpretations of Medusa's story. This comic is going with the version where Poseidon assaulted Medusa and Athena transformed her as punishment. Some versions say that Athena transformed Medusa as a way to protect her, while others say Medusa willingly slept with Poseidon, and Athena just didn't care and was being cruel. The comic canon is a lot like mythology and has a lot of different interpretations and meanings depending on what you're reading and who you're talking to. It's honestly something that is fascinating for me and has been for quite some time. Now, the parallels between mythology and comics are numerous and fascinating. Comics are constantly being reinterpreted and added onto, just like mythology would have been back in the day. These characters often represent ideologies more than are meant to be interpreted as real people, just like the ancient gods in Greek mythology. Steve immediately walking out to talk to Diana and to help her reverse the transformation she's undergone to defeat the monster without hesitation. Of course, the only reason this worked was because he had spent time on the Wild Isle with Circe and Diana, and he knows how important her status as the daughter of Circe, the last Amazon, and witch of the Wild Isle are to her, and is able to call her back to her true self by reminding her of who she is, and her newest title as Wonder Woman, the hero of Gateway City. It's also interesting that he's the second person to call her this, the first person being Barbara Minerva, aka Cheetah, who is one of her most infamous villains. The last panel here shows her getting pulled into hell, which is a good setup for the next arc, and I'm looking forward to reviewing that with you. There isn't any big panels that stood out to me this issue art-wise. There's some nice details, such as the way the lasso is emphasized on the cover and foreshadows its importance later on in the issue. And the way Diana is posed almost gives like she's in a trance and floating in something, which might also foreshadow how she was when she was transformed into the Medusa. Speaking of which, I did really enjoy the design for Diana's Medusa form. It's very classic, very terrifying, and its use of green is a nice contrast to the red tones of the comic. Overall, nothing really stood out to me design-wise in this issue, but the quality and intensity and detail has remained consistent and is ever so beautiful. This issue wraps up the first arc of Absolute Wonder Woman. This arc establishes the basic pillars of her backstory and where she stands in the universe. It introduces several major supporting characters. The major theme of change as a good thing is something heavily explored in this issue, as well as the rest of the arc. From Hecate telling Diana that transformation out of her mother's life is a good thing and part of her mother's love, to Steve helping her transform out of her Medusa form by reminding her who she's becoming. Change is a good thing. It's us moving forward with our lives and becoming something new. Overall, I give this individual issue a 9 out of 10 and this arc a 7 out of 10. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. No AI was used in the making of this video. Farewell for now.